Hello, my students and viewers at home. I'm happy to have you again. My name remains Okolo Evelyn from Biology Department of St. Charles College, Onitsha. Our topic today is on pollination in plants. But before we proceed, let us look at the specific objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to do the following. 1. Define pollination. Number 2. State 2 types of pollination. 3. Write the advantages and disadvantages of self-pollination. Number 4. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of cross-pollination. Number 5. Differentiate between self and cross-pollination. Now, let's go into the lesson proper. The goal of every living organism, including plants, is to create offspring for next generation. And one of the ways that plant can produce offspring is by making seed. And for the plant to make seed, there must be pollination and fertilization. But for the purpose of this lesson, we concentrate only on pollination. What then is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of mature pollen grains from the anther to the mature stigma of a flower. It is the event that will precede fertilization. Flower pollination is one of the crucial events in the life cycle of many flowering plants. Let's look at these structures here. The one on the left-hand side is the structure of stamen. That is the main part of the flower. You see the filament there holding the anther. It is inside the anther that you see the pollen grains necessary for pollination. Then the one on the right-hand side is the structure of carpel or stigma. Do you see the star there holding the stigma that produces ovary for pollination? Let us discuss types of pollination. There are 2 types of pollination. 1. Self-pollination. Number 2. Cross-pollination or allogamy. Self-pollination. Self-pollination is the transfer of mature pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower. Flowers that carry out self-pollination are called a hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite flower is one in which both the stamen and the carpel are present. There are 2 types of self-pollination. Number 1, orthogamy or xenogamy. Number 2, gaetonogamy. Let's discuss them one after the other. Orthogamy or xenogamy. This is the transfer of mature pollen grains from an anther to the stigma of the same flower in a flowering plant. Let's use the structure here to describe orthogamy. In orthogamy, only one flower is involved. Do you see the anthers and stigma there? The arrow there indicates the movement of pollen grains from the anthers of the flower to the stigma of the same flower. This is the example of orthogamy of self-pollination. Gaetonogamy. This is the transfer of mature pollen grains from an anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower on the same plant. Now, let's see the structure here. The emphasis is on different flower but on the same plant. So the arrow here indicates the movement of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. Now, can you differentiate between orthonogamy and gaetonogamy? The difference is that in orthonogamy, it involves only one flower. But in this one, which is gaetonogamy, it involves 2 flowers. Now, let us look at the advantages of self-pollination. Number 1, pollen grains are produced in small quantity, and most of them are not wasted. Because of what? because the process is on the same plant. Then number 2, the process of pollination will occur as it does not depend on agents and it does not involve any distance. The plant do not depend on external factors for pollination. External factors involve wind, animals, or water. Then number 3, the flower structures are less complicated and may not need any complex mechanism to achieve pollination. And number 4, there is no diversity in the genes, and therefore the purity of the race is maintained. Now, let us see the disadvantages of self-pollination. Number 1, the offspring produced are often weaker due to the fact that only one genetic material is involved. There is no mixture of gene there. Then number 2, all the undesirable characters or quality of the parents are passed on to the offspring. Number 3, it promotes inbreeding depression. That is, when the biological fitness in a given population is reduced as a result of inbreeding. What then is inbreeding? Inbreeding means the production of offspring from mating of organisms that are closely related genetically. Then number 4, there is no variation in the seeds and in the offspring that are produced. Now let's move over to the cross-pollination. What is cross-pollination? Cross-pollination is the transfer of matured pollen grains from an anther to the mature stigma of another flower on a different plant of the same species. The emphasis is on the same species. Example of plant that carries out cross-pollination includes rattleburs, hibiscus flower, pride of Barbados, pawpaw, etc. Now let's see the structure here. We have 2 plants here, but of the same species. Then do you see the arrow there? It indicates the movement of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower of the same species. So in this case, 2 flowers of the same species must be involved. I want you to understand this very well. Let's use another structure to explain cross-pollination. We have structures A and structures B here. In structures A, we have cross-pollination between 2 maize plants. And in B, we have cross-pollination between a maize plant and a mango plant. Which of these structures do you think is a cross-pollination? Structure A is a typical example of cross-pollination because the transfer is of the same species. But in structure B, transfer from maize plant to the mango plant is useless because pollination will not occur here. Advantages of cross-pollination. Number 1, the offspring produced possess genetic variability due to the mixture of genetic material. You can call it genetic diversity. The more diverse the genes in the gene pool, the better they are protected against extinction. Number 2, the offspring produced are more viable. Number 3, the offsprings produced are able to adapt to changes in the environment. Number 4, the offspring produced are fit to compete favorable with other plants in times of scarcity of water, food, and mineral source. And number 5, the varied seeds are resistant to infections and diseases. Disadvantages of cross-pollination. Number one, it depends on agents which may not be present at the required time. Number two, it leads to wastage of pollen grains as the pollinating agent may be transferring them to wrong plants. And number three, cross-pollinated flowers are often more complicated in structure than self-pollination and often require some special mechanisms. Let's look at the features or characteristics of self-pollinated flower. Number one is homogamy. Self-pollinated flowers are bisexual, with the anthers and stigmas maturing at the same time. Remember that the anthers is the male part and stigmas is the female part. This will ensure that the pollen grains from the same flower will pollinate the stigma. Example, mirabilis, hibiscus, etc. In mirabilis, the filaments of the anthers may bend over at maturity, thereby bringing the anthers near to the stigmas. Number two features is anthers are situated above the stigmas so that a visiting insect can brush the pollen grains into the stigmas. Number three, filaments are longer than the spires and so can recoil. Example, in sunflower, the stigmas at the maturity curl back to make contact with the anthers. Sometimes, anthers and stigmas make direct contact, as in alamander flower. Another feature, which is number 4, is cleistogamy. This is a situation in certain plants where the corolla never opens. Remember, corolla is the second floral part of the flower, and it is the most conspicuous part of the flower. The anther and stigma are enclosed within the corolla. No pollen grains from outside can pollinate the flower. When the pollen grains mature, they shed within the corolla. Example, groundnut plants, flower of Commelina. These flowers here is the example of cleistogamy. Let's look at the features or characteristics of cross-pollinated flower. Number 1 is dichogamy. This is a process whereby the anther and the stigma of a bisexual flower will mature at the different times of period. There are two types of dichogamous flower. These are protandry and protogenous. Let's start with protandry or protandrous. This is a situation where the anther will mature and share the pollen grains before the stigma will mature. At this time, the stigma is still immature and cannot receive the pollen grains. Let's look at the structure here. It's a typical example of protandry. Here, you see the pollen grains wasting from the anthers because the stigma is still immature. The consequence is that by the time the stigma will mature, the pollen grains should have been wasted or withered. Another one is protogenous or protogeny. It's a situation whereby the stigma of a flower will mature before the anther. Hence, the stigma can only be pollinated with pollen grains from another flower. Example, some palms, fish, Dutchman's pipe, that is Aristolochia, and water lettuce. Now let's see the structure here. It's an example of protogeny. Here, the stigma is matured, waiting for the pollen grains so that the pollination will take place. But the anthers is not matured in order to release the pollen grains. Another one is self-sterility or self-incompatibility. It is the incapability of pollen grains of one flower to grow over the stigma of the same flower due to the presence of similar sterilized genes. Example, tobacco plants, crucifers, potato, crotalaria, and many leguminous plants. Then number 3, which is the last one, is unisexual flower. These are flowers with only one sexual reproductive organ. In other words, the male and female reproductive organs are 2 different flowers. Hence, pollination can occur only by cross-pollination. It can occur in dioecious plants, example, pawpaw, Christmas bush, and pumpkin. So let's use these 2 structures here to explain unisexual flower. The one on the left-hand side is the female part of the flower. That is why you see pawpaw fruits there. While the one on the right-hand side is the male flower. Let's look at the differences between self and cross-pollinated flower. Number 1, self-pollinated flower transfer pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. While cross-pollinated flower transfer pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of different plants. Number 2, the process can take place either in the same flower or another flower of the same plant. That is, flowers which are genetically the same. But in cross-pollinated flower, the process can take place between 2 flowers of different plants. That is, flowers which are not genetically the same. Number 3, in self-pollinated flower, it occurs only in perfect flower. That is, flower that has both male and female reproductive organs. But in cross-pollinated flower, it occurs both in perfect and imperfect flowers. Imperfect flowers is the flower that lack either male or female reproductive organ. Then number 4, in self-pollinated flower, it causes homozygous condition in progenies, while in cross-pollinated flower, it causes heterozygous condition in progeny. Number 5, in self-pollinated flower, it increases genetical uniformity and decreases genetic variation. While in cross-pollinated flower, it decreases genetic uniformity and increases genetic variation. Number 6, self-pollinated flower causes inbreeding, while cross-pollinated flower causes outbreeding. Number 7, in self-pollinated flower, it reduces the gene pool, but in cross-pollinated flower, it improves the gene pool. Number 8, self-pollinated flower produces limited amounts of pollen grains, while cross-pollinated flower produces large amounts of pollen grains. In self-pollinated flower, it must carry it out even when the flowers are closed. But in cross-pollinated flower, the flowers must be open for pollination to occur. Having learned the meaning of cross-pollination, disadvantages and advantages, and differences, I want to use the following questions to evaluate you. Number 1, define pollination. 2, state 2 types of pollination. Number 3, write the advantages and disadvantages of self-pollination. Number 4, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of cross-pollination. And number 5, differentiate between self and cross-pollination. I want you to answer the questions and send it to my WhatsApp contact, which is 08037388099. Thanks for listening.